Hi, welcome to today's Excel tutorial. In this lesson, we'll learn how to use the COUNTIF function in Excel. This powerful function allows you to count cells that meet specific criteria, which can be extremely useful for data analysis. So let's dive in. The COUNTIF function is a handy tool that helps you count cells based on certain conditions. But first, we have to learn the syntax of this function. The syntax has two arguments, the range of cells to evaluate and the criterion. So the formula would look like this, COUNTIF, range, criteria. The range is the set of cells that you want to evaluate, while the criteria is the condition where you want to determine if a cell should be counted or not. So to start with, let's go step by step. First, we have to select the cell, which we're going to input our formula. So let's click on the cell, type in equal, then type in count. If you'd see that Excel will drop down the choices for the functions, you just double click it and it will let you select a range of cells. Your data can have hundreds or thousands of rows that you can select from, but for this lesson, we're just going to use those cells that are highlighted in gray. So for our first problem, we need to determine the number of movies in year 2016. So we need to select the range of data for that. So let's select the data from B4 to B11 as our range. And then we type in the criteria, which is 2016. Remember to use double quotes. So let's type 2016 and quote, then enclose it with the parentheses. Okay, then just press enter and it will give you the result, which is 4. Next, number of movies with rating greater than 7.0. So how do we do that? We type in again, equal sign, count if, let's select it, double click, then select the range, we're under the column rating. Then let's type our criteria, which is quote greater than sign 7. And then end with quote again, and there. So it will give us a number 4. So for our next condition, we need to determine the number of movies with no revenue data. So under the revenue column, you'd see there are some blanks. So we need to find out the number of cells that are empty. So just type equal sign, COUNTIF. Remember that when you type the criteria, let's select the range first, you always use double quotes, because it will give you an error, especially if it's a text or a number. But to determine the number of empty cells or blanks, we use just the double quotes. This is a universal formula to determine the blank cells in a reference or a range. So just enter and I will give you the result, which is 2 counts. You can actually reference a specific cell for your criteria. For example, we wanted to know or determine the number of movies in year 2015. So we copy the similar formula for 2016. But remember, when you copy and you just paste it like that, the range moves. You may want to use an absolute range. And to do that, you have to use the $sign. You have to insert the $sign before a row or a column where you want it to be fixed. And then you press enter so that when you copy, it will be easier. And it will be fixed. It will be the same reference that you have used from your previous formula. And now you edit the criteria to your new condition, which is 2015. You can just type in 2015, but actually you can just reference it to a cell, this particular cell, which is H9. Then you press enter and there's the answer, 1. Moving on, we would like to know the number of movies with revenue data under the column revenue. So this is actually determining the number of non-blank cells. So for this, we will use the universal formula for counting non-blank cells, which is using this not equal operators. Okay, so let's type in count if, just like how we do it before, but then we use code and use this formula to count the non-blank. Then we'll give you the result of 6. Now let's find out the number of movies with the word "the" in the title. So let's select the range and then type our criteria with the formula using the asterisk, which is the wildcard character that is used to match a sequence of character. That for this case, it's the word "the." I include a space and close it with another asterisk, of course the quotes and the parentheses, then enter, and then it will give us the result 4. I specifically have to add the space after the letter E so that it can satisfy my specified condition, which is to count the word "the." Had this one word become "them," it will not count. Okay, so let's just change it back. Okay, so remember, you can experiment with different criteria to gain a deeper understanding of the function and capabilities of COUNTIF function. And for today, we have learned that you can count cells based on specific conditions and unlock new possibilities for data analysis. So you just keep practicing and you'll become an Excel wizard in no time. So just to add on, there's always this thing like a warning showing up. It's showing an error because I'm omitting some of the data that is included in the list. So if I actually click the update, it will change the number. And COUNTIF will really help you a lot, especially if you have a lot of data, like hundreds and thousands of them. If I update this formula to the actual number of cells or number of data that's in this document, you can just play around and see how it's going to help you. Example for this one. Okay, so you can play around with the dates. If you want to like change the year, and you just can enter whatever query that you would want it to know. So it's really fun. I hope you learn a lot in this lesson. Thank you. See you next time.